Today I took two trades, one on ES and one on NQ. We're gonna go over why I took the trades and my buys for the day. So, um, this is the first trade I took today. It was on ES. I was short biased. It was a CISD entry, sweeping a short-term high right there, and then we closed below it, two up close candles, and then I was looking for us to trade down to 4-hour or 12-hour liquidity because we came from a 12-hour fair value gap, which I'll go over after. And basically, yeah, went in my direction, but then we stopped at a 4-hour gap where I was expecting us to have some measure of retracement, but not this much of a retracement. So this ended up being a loss. And then my second trade was on NQ here, and it was the same thing, CISD entry. And then we had a close below the two up close candles here. And what I did for this one is I targeted the high of the 12-hour gap because it seemed like we had high resistance there. So that's where I took my take profit. And then I probably got trailed out on one contract, resulting on a 2.5-hour day today. So I'm going to go over why I was short initially on ES. So on ES here, the reason I was short was because we had a 12-hour gap. And this 12-hour gap can only be seen on the actual ES contract because it's not showing on MES. So if we zoom in here, we have a gap here that we formed. So my thought process was we came into the high time frame gap, and then yes, we did have this 4-hour gap that we created in the morning, right? But high time frame gaps are stronger and it's a bigger pool of liquidity. So I was expecting us to, like, yes, have a low minor retracement in here, but eventually trade all the way down below, sweeping these trend line 12-hour, 12-hour, 4-hour lows, and that was 12-hour liquidity down there. That's what I was looking for, and it just didn't end up happening. Right, it didn't work out, and I couldn't trail my stop on the 15-minute here. This is where it happened right here, and I just ended up getting completely stop lossed here. The trade went up to like 4-hour, 4.5-hour, and then just stopped me out. Well, it is what it is. And then for my second trade, I used the same bias using that 12-hour gap on ES. But then the reason I could take a CISD entry on NQ here is because we traded back into this 4-hour gap right here. So as soon as we traded back into this 4-hour gap here, I then became bearish on NQ2 because like we traded back into a pool of liquidity, which we reacted pretty aggressively before. And then I traded it all the way down here to this 4-hour gap, 4-hour gap high, and took my take profit there. So things I could have done better. I think I could have maybe taken my, I think I should have taken profit at the 4-hour gap here on this first initial trade, right? Or at least take off 50% because again, it's Friday and like it's better just to walk away with something on Friday than like look for this large expansion move here, which is something I'll take onto next week. Um, but overall, I think like management of the other trade was good, analysis was great, and yeah, that's all. Two trades, one was a loss, one was a win, and we finished the day 2.5. So yeah, we will attack next week with greater conviction and more knowledge or whatever. So yeah, good luck and good trading.